Hello golfers, Jess coming to you from the Jess Frank Golf Academy YouTube channel here at the beautiful Deer Creek Golf Club here in beautiful Deerfield Beach, Florida. Beginner's Guide to Golf. Now this is something that can help every level of player, but especially the new player. The new player that's looking to get into the game, that's struggling, maybe been to the range a few times, you're just not getting the ball in the air, they're given so many different tips to do things that really don't pertain to the golf swing. And so what you want to do is you want to realize number one fundamental in golf. What do all the best players in the world do? The best players in the world are able to swing a golf club and they're able to hit the ground in the same spot over and over and over again. And this is something that the best players in the world can do. So your hands are onto the club. You have to be able to control the club and be able to touch the ground with the bottom of the club every single time. So that way what happens is that you're able to hit the ball in the center of the club face. And then you're able to, the club face is looking towards the target. So when you hit the ball is going to go in the direction that you want. But you want to make contact. Number one fundamental, what all the greatest players in the world do, they hardly ever fail at doing this task in the golf swing and the golf shot. So when I teach beginner golfers, my first order of business is always to take them to the putting green first. So for all you people out there in YouTube land who has somebody who wants to get into the game, take them to the putting green first and let them establish a motion that makes contact with the back of the ball every single time. Okay, this is huge with putting. So you're learning how to deflect the ball off the face of the club every time. So a putter has no loft, the ball's not going to get in the air, don't have to worry about that. Start with small putts, work your way back, start with like a 10-foot putt, then a 20-foot putt, then a 30-foot putt, and just keep making putts and spend 15, 20, 30 minutes at the putting green before you ever come over here and try to hit a golf ball. Because what it does is it establishes confidence because you're hitting the ball every single time. It also establishes the fact that you're going to be able to deflect the ball off the face of the putter every single time and pretty much send the ball in the direction that you want every single time. So then take them back to chipping. So this is where it starts to get fun. Now you go ahead, again, you're making good contact. You're just lengthening the putter swing into more of a chipping motion. So don't worry about, oh, is my grip perfect? Is my stance perfect? Is my posture perfect? Don't worry about any of that stuff. When you get to the chipping, your first thing you're going to do is feel like you're going to have a little bit more weight onto your front leg. So your weight is going to be on your front leg. From there, you're going to make the little putting stroke. Okay, so you already have a motion going with your putting stroke, and here you're going to take this to the chipping area, and you're going to make a little swing back and forth. So now as you go back and forth, now all of a sudden you've taken, I always tell people use a wedge because you have a little more loft with that. So you make a little putting stroke, doing the same thing, keeping the same structure. The weight on the left. Here's my arms. My arms are in a good triangle here. Okay. So then from there, you're able to go ahead and basically do the same thing you did in the putting, deflecting the ball off the face. But you'll see here is that there's a little more motion with a chipping motion there would be with a putting motion, but you've expanded that a little bit. Okay. But what we're doing is we're creating the same fundamental, number one, hitting the ground in the same spot every single time. I can't tell you how often I see beginner golfers out here and actually people I've seen come out to the range a lot who still top it, who still hit behind it, who still slice it, who still they're missing fundamental number one. They're trying to swing as fast as they can and hit it as far as they can before even making decent contact. So I think that's super important. You got to learn. You got to crawl before you walk and walk before you run. So beginner golfers, again, I like to start with a little bit of the setup of having the toes turned out, having the grip in the fingers of your hands. That's super important too. Have the grip in the fingers. Then from here, just making sure, I would even say before I even hit a ball, just making sure you're able to touch the ground in the same spot every single time. Okay? And when I do that, I'm able to make contact and send the ball in the direction that I want it to go. So that's number one before you even start doing that. So also what I'm doing is that you can see as I'm swinging the golf club back, I'm swinging on an arc. My club is not going straight back, straight through. I'm making a pivot here. So I start to take the club back a little farther and a little farther. And that's something too that I work with a lot of newer players. And they, even experienced players, they have a hard time understanding how far back they're taking the golf club and how much of a backswing they're making. So in the beginning, you want to be able to make a swing that's just in the front of your body, frontal plane of the body here, and making sure that as you swing back, you don't need to take the club back far. You're only taking the club back to about hip height, and then from here, you're going through to hip height. So what I like to call the P3 to P9 swing. So the P3 to P9 swing, or the L to L swing, And what you're doing is you're learning how to make a golf swing consistently, tracing an arc consistently, and having good contact. Again, number one fundamental, before anything else, you're making sure that you make good contact, okay? So there's a couple fundamentals, what all the best players do at impact, and the main thing, again, the feeling of having the weight forward, which is the lower center forward. I can't tell you how many people I see with the weight back and the arms bent. So let's make sure our lower center, which is your belt buckle or your belly button, you're going to have that forward towards the target. So as you go forward towards the target, you can see is that when I finish here, my weight is forward. Okay, my weight's not on my back foot. I can pick up my back foot, tap my toe. Okay, so that's number one, weight forward. Number two is keeping the arms straight. So as I swing back, I'm not folding my arms, not pulling my arms in. Okay, I'm feeling like my arms are relatively straight. And as I swing through the ball, my arms are relatively straight. And here's another thing that you can do as well. Hold the finish until the ball stops. This will be this way. You're not trying to hit the ball far. You're not trying to accelerate the club through. You're making a motion and you're able to hold your finish on balance. So you'll see the best players in the world, when they swing the club, and you'll see it this week at the US Open, they're finishing on balance pretty much every single time, especially with their short irons and their mid irons and their long irons. The driver, sometimes they'll hit the ball and they'll have a little bit more movement because they're trying to generate so much speed with the driver. However, with putting, chipping, pitching, and irons, they're finishing on balance every single time. So this is something that I know definitely can help beginner golfers. Beginner golfers are going to be extremely happy with this technique. Now, you have to, slow down, take your time. Again, even beginner golfers, they should be filming their swings. They should be able to, film their golf swings from face on and down the line and be able to finish their golf swings and hold their balance. So I would say even before hitting any golf balls, for beginner golfers, you have the weight forward, you have the arms straight, and you can see is that I'm brushing this ground every single time. So when I finish, I've got a little grass on the face. I got a good, I know that club is definitely hitting the ground in the same spot every time. I've used Dr. Scholl's foot powder where I spray that on the ground and you hit the line every time. but you're not trying to over accelerate. Again, in fundamental number one, all you're looking for is good contact, where the club hits the ground every time. You don't want to hit the ground too early. You don't want to miss the ground. You don't want to pull your arms in. So again, just keeping it really simple here. From there, what we do is we understand what makes the club start to go up in the backswing, okay? There's a combination of a couple different things that makes the club go up to the backswing. So very simple. If you can tilt your shoulders and let the club head go to the sky, so the club head's going up, you can see is that my club head wouldn't go up if there was no wrist hinge here. So you're going to let the club go up to the sky, swing the club head to the sky, and swing the club head to the sky. That's an easy way to think about lengthening your swing and allowing for wrist hinge without trying to think about wrist hinge. So you're going to allow the club to go up to the sky. And after you've done that a couple times, so I went from hitting the ball, my first couple shots were about 40, 50 yards. Then that last shot went about 110 yards with a 7-iron, so I'm not swinging too hard. But I'm developing the bottom of the swing. I'm developing good contact every single time. So no matter who you are, this is a great way for you to start practicing too. Even a better player, somebody who's shooting in the mid 80s or 90s and they're looking to break, get to lower their scores, the more they hit the ball solid, the more they control and know where the club is through space and time, the better off they're going to be. So the better off they're going to be able to swing the club around their body. So this is a drill, that's a swing that you can put into play, and you can do this immediately. So I love sharing these tips. I'm super passionate about helping golfers. I love teaching the game and sharing this knowledge with you guys that can help you. So again, so you can see the setup here. My weight's not on my back foot. My hands aren't back. My weight's a little forward. My handle's a little bit more towards my left leg here. So you can see the setup from the down the line position. I'm not pulling my hands way in. I'm not reaching way out. My arms are kind of hanging straight down from me. Then from here, I'm able to really hit some nice shots and hold. You can see I can hold my finish. That ball hit the ground. It's just stopped rolling, but I can hold my finish to the very end. So that's crucial in players improving their game, especially the newer golfer who's been out to the range a couple times, who loves the game, wants to get better. This is your keys to developing good golf and being able to take the golf from the range to the course, and you're able to excel and play and keep pace with everybody as a newer golfer or beginner golfer, somebody who's just getting into the game. And I know there's so many people out there after this crazy year that we've had that are coming out to golf, and the game has been growing like exponentially, which is awesome. So this is something that the process of becoming a golfer, of becoming somebody who comes out to the game and understands, what's the progress, what should I do to improve so I can play golf. And again, I always say, start with putting, understand how that club swings back and forth, get the feel in your hands and in your wrist and in your arms and how that club moves. And then from there, you progress back to chipping, then a little longer swing, which is pitching, and then even a little longer swing, which is full swing. So until you get that down, then you can start to go make a bigger, extension and tilt of your body. Now you have your arms. So it doesn't really, the difference between where we were in the short swing to where we are in the full swing is not much different. So you're able to kind of progress that way and then go from that and work through every club in your bag. So hopefully this helps. Again, my name's Jess Frank. I love teaching this game. Been a PGA teaching professional for a long time. Love helping you guys. So if you really like this video, please share it out with your friends. Please subscribe. Please like it. Leave a comment. Let me know what your favorite part of this video was. So we'll see you soon. Have a great day.